Kristen Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
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 KTTV. Is that right?
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Underground. By God, man, of the Daily K podcast. How y'all doing today, people? I have none other than my guest, the author, educational consultant, Mr. Kelvin Weather. How you doing today, Mr. Weather?
I'm awesome, boss. How you doing, Mr. Thomas?
Look, man, we getting back to this beginning of school, and I am going crazy, brother.
Yeah, it's going, this pandemic, and with the getting back, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. I want to say, I think when we got ready to end everything and seeing we coming into that new year, cases was going down, we starting to feel good. We say we're gonna slide in, baby, and get it going.
Yes,
now,
sir. Yes, sir.
We putting that alert flag back up, so you got to come back and think about a whole lot.
Yeah,
man. But
yes.
I want to say thank you for taking some time out of the schedule. You got work going, educational consulting, getting back into the mix with school as well. But also just a book that we get to talk about today, brother. So I'm looking forward to this conversation, man. So thank you for taking that.
I'm honored to be a part of your platform. You know, you on radio and school and park, you're doing it big. So, and some of the other things you're doing as far as even, I don't know if you told about the TEDx and all that. I mean, you're doing so just honored to be a part of your platform tonight.
Man, I sure appreciate that, brother. Hey, nothing like getting them flowers while we live. Hey. So, man, before we jump into things, and shout out to Laura, she already know, I like to just do a wellness check, man, because like I say, it's crazy on my end, but just looking outwards. So how have you been doing during this pandemic and staying safe out here, man?
Well, I fought against, just brutally, honestly, I was skeptical initially of the vaccine. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not going to take it. I was like, that was my thought initially. I wouldn't go, I'm not rushing it. I'm not going to be a guinea pig. But over time, I listened, I saw my parents, my brother and my sister and my mom and even my aunt who's 94 years old. I try to talk to her every Sunday or so. And they all were telling me about they got vaccinated. So I got vaccinated. I got the Pfizer vaccine. I got the second dose and I went to Texas Southern to get it. And I've been, just trying to, every time I may go out a couple of, occasionally, but I'm just trying to, be as safe as possible, have paper towels when I pump gas, trying to hold on to stuff, just trying to be careful. And I've only flown once for a speaking event. It was in May, but so I don't know, I hope we can live, but I guess I've been very cautious, as just staying as cautious as counting and being safe as can during this pandemic. So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Yeah, man, that's all we can do, really. You brought up a good point, something as simple as watching what you touch, like I say, I think over that summer we got real comfortable, man. Mm-hmm. Take the mask out. And so now just getting back into this groove, man, it is about to be real out here, but it has to be done, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
man,
sir.
So getting into the work, give me a little bit of background on you and how you even tied into education.
Well, I'm speaker. I've even spoken, I've ministered for years, but I've also my siblings are all teachers, and I attempted to a couple of years ago started an HISD mentor, but for some reason I didn't get started with that. But in January, I became a mentor with the HISD's Ascending to Men program, which is a volunteer mentor, and we would help students kind of, listen to, be a listening ear, give them some advice during the day, between their homeroom, between their break. And so I participate in that program. Also, I'm done some other things with like some different speaking platforms through the Harris County Department of Education and some other Head Start groups. I was going to do something with the National Association of Bilingual Education, but for some, I think it was a conflict. I had something I was to present to them, but I couldn't present. So I'm kind of doing more of the mentoring and the just helping students, give some inspiration maybe to staff. If I can branch out in the curriculum or professional development, that's something I was looking to get into. But just kind of inspiring students, kind of sharing what my experience is as a first generation college graduate, HBCU graduate. Just kind of sharing my experience and sharing if I can inspire and encourage them to, to reach for the stars, and the sky's the limit, and do what they can. So
Yeah,
that's kind of where I am now.
man. And as you say, ministering, right? To be able to understand the kids, to relate to the kids, and still be able to bring that minister in, and bring that religion side of it to just always keep that foundation is good, man. Because these days the kids got to be able to relate
Yeah.
and be able to change stuff. So, awesome work, man, on being able to really tackle both of those pieces, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, I don't. I know. I mean, none of us are perfect, so I don't bring up. I try to bring up. I try to bring just relatable. That I'm a down to earth. I went to. I didn't finish from Jack Yates. I went to Jack Yates High School. I I'm a HISD product pretty much. I don't know. I'm not an A. I'm not. It's not an A-leaf. HISD is not a set thing. I'm not. Whatever. I went to Yates. I went to Ryan. I was at Peck Elementary. So kind of matriculated through HISD. So that's kind of how I, kind of bring that knowledge, I guess, to the students and kind of share with them. Hey, you can excel. I'm not excelling to the level that I want to be at, but that you can continue to grow and excel and reach the stars. No matter how your background, or if your parents divorced, or if whatever, you can still succeed in spite of the circumstances that you face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thinking about that, I know we talked a little bit offline, but when I got a chance to look at some of the speaking that you do, and the new approach to special education, I think about being an African American male and the overrepresentation, as an educator in a behavior unit. I totally agree that it's happening, and I've even dealt with it personally. So why did you choose to speak on that topic? And then give us a little bit about what that talk was about.
That's a great question. My passion, because I have a brother who's autistic. I'm the oldest of five, and all my siblings, my sister, except for my brother who's autistic, but my sister, my brother, the two other brothers, they're teachers. One's a middle school teacher, one's a high school teacher, another's a high school teacher. And so when I grew in the schools that I went to, and just you see, so many kids and black and brown kids labeled as, dysfunctional, and, that they need to put on medication, and they can't be controlled. And so and that was just a passionate thought about it. I was going to present that twice, but I did it for the Harris County Department of Education. I was going to present it to the National Association of Bilingual, but I had a conflict. I couldn't be at two places. So, but the impetus of that talk was about because of just, even and my sister kind of gave me some insight too, and that is that, you don't have a specialist and a therapist, and if a kid seems anxious, or they seem, restless, they're automatically labeled as, special ed, or, can't be taught, and, put in this, and they may be, you can find maybe, the best athlete or entertainer, somebody like that. I think even, I don't want to, dwell on this too much, but I believe Elon Musk, he has Asperger's. He's diagnosed with that. So you have brilliant people who can have a disability. And just because you have a disability or you're restless in class doesn't automatically mean that you should be placed in, special education. And the teachers don't have the tools almost. They don't have the tools to win. And so they have a SPED certification. They may just have that training, but they don't have the behavioral and the mental health kind of specializations that is needed to help students. So,
Yeah.
it kind of, they kind of like thrown to the wolves and just like left for, just to, trash heap. I don't want to use that word, but kind of
Yeah.
that it's like giving up on in a sense. And so they can make it out of special education, but a lot of black and brown men, especially,
Mhm.
are just giving up on too easily, too quickly.
Come on, brother. Say that then, brother. Yeah, I was looking at Laura and what she said about it. In some schools, it does seem like, kids are thrown away. Because like I said, once you get inside of those programs, unless you totally deny all of the help that you get in, it's hard to change that.
Yes, sir.
And so, man, it's something real, man. And so what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, get a word from our sponsor. And when we get back, brother, we're going to talk about Still I Thrive, man. We got to get into
Yes,
this
sir.
book, man. That's the work. All right, so hold tight. All right, y'all, we're going to go get a quick word from our sponsor, Mr. Freckles. We'll be right. Man, shout out to Freckles, man. Look, the brother got flavor pickles.
We need the sponsors all the time. Thank you.
Hey, man. Look, man. The brother got flavor pickles, man. He is in over 100 stores in Houston, man. And when I'm talking about started at the house in Acres Home,
Yes, sir.
say,
Yes,
man,
sir.
that's what it's about, brother. Man, so we had some good comments. I was just looking at that last topic, man. Yeah, man. I agree with that, and I agree. All kids need that champion, man. And so when we think about that champion, we talk about this Still I Thrive, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, look, talk to us about the book. We know thriving. We think about resiliency. So, man, just give us how this book even came to fruition.
Well, PK Kersey, he's a gentleman who he has an organization called That Suits You, and he has done about 3 other books. I think Suited for Success. He has a That Suits You for Kids, but he does anthologies. He does collaborative books. And so about last year, I believe maybe September, or a little earlier than that, during the midst of the pandemic, he approached and he brought together a group, primarily a lot of East Coast individuals. But I guess I don't know if I'm the only person from the South, but we came together to collaborate on Still I Thrive, which is a series of tales or stories of how to pivot and evolve during a crisis, and how to overcome challenges and setbacks and adversity, and still push forward. I mean, people. I did a mental health talk. Well, I didn't do it. It was this group called Fight Pandemics. There's a nonprofit group, and they had a mental health summit. And one of the ladies on there, she's a licensed clinical social worker. She talks about thriving after trauma. And so, but it's different stories in this book, different authors, whether they're principal, whether they're educational consultant, whether they're sales rep, whether they're, himself or Mr. Kersey or an entrepreneur, whatever they may be, just a series of insight and stories on how you can pivot and evolve even in the midst of a crisis.
Come on, man. And I was looking at the literature. I know that was even one of your YouTube videos.
Yes, sir.
And so how is that something like as far as a series you're going to look at? Because when I looked at, man, it was so, even in June, like when you did it, it was so relevant to even right now. So will you be doing some more like that? And talk to us a little bit about even that strategy you gave in there.
Yeah, I will be doing more. I mean, my chapter is on building through the test.
Yeah,
that's the chapter that I'm dealing with. So that's something that I would do more of, and kind of just some more, maybe Facebook Live, maybe some just some other YouTube stuff along those lines, and kind of like in that sense, because I mean, I'm sure it revolves around. It's about what you think about and your mindset. And it's not, I know that's popular today, and you hear a lot of people, they get a lot of rah-rah. I don't know. I don't want to mention I don't want to mention any speaker's name because it may seem like I'm partial, but you hear a lot of, motivation and encouragement and all of that. But you got to have the mindset to win and to achieve, and even when you fall, still that it's not, one bad chapter or one bad day or one bad moment is not the end of your life. You still can succeed in spite of that. So, that's kind of so when I looked at the bouncing back, I think from setbacks I talked about one time, and one moment doesn't define you. One day, one event doesn't define you. Still you can achieve greatness and et cetera. I mean, in spite of one day. I mean, even we look at this week, there was a battle, a versus battle. I guess some people might say the group that was, their day is over, like, well, the locks, Dipset is over, but they can rebound if they just, so we can rebound from anything.
Yeah.
We have the right mindset to rebound from.
Look, man, I don't know if they're going to rebound from that one, but I'm definitely in agreement with what you're saying, man. Yeah. So now though that as you talk about rebounding, man, you cannot get away with not giving us just a snippet of the story that you talk about rebounding from in the book.
Yeah, one of the I'll give a snippet of I was doing ride share, and I was driving for Uber. I drove for Uber for a couple of years. In between my sales career, and then I drove for Lyft. And when in the midst of that, because of something that happened to me years ago, I was able to drive for them, but then at one point I wasn't able to, and then I had no income coming in the midst of the pandemic. Like right out, when the pandemic hit. There was, there was like this government funded, people were getting unemployment, and there was even rideshare workers were able to get unemployment. But I was still working. But in the midst of that, it just, stopped. And so I had to make a decision. I had to decide, what am I going to do? How am I going to move forward? And so that's some of what I talk about is that how did I shift from doing that to then doing educational consulting, to speaking to trio and college groups, and kind of the shift in, because I was the sole provider in the house to a degree, and I was the breadwinner, and it was a mindset shift of having to go from working in rideshare to just stop and meet. I'd done like 3,000 rides for a Lyft, and was just shut down immediately. I had to find a backup. I had to pivot. And so that's some of what I talk about in the chapter. I kind of deal with that. I deal with mistakes I made, something in my life that could have ended my life. I could have been just another statistic. I could have been really even, blunt. It's something happened in my life that some other black men have been killed because of something the same thing that happened to me. They're dead. And so that's some of the things I talk about in the chapter, in my chapter.
Yeah, man. I tell Coach Davis, shout out to Coach Davis, my PE teacher at school, man, and young brother, African American. I say, look, man, I don't know too many young brothers that just went to preaching, man, and say without a real story to tell somebody or how they got there, Yes, so man, I'm down with it, man. So as we talk about the book with the co-authors, what other kind of chapters are they doing? Is it kind of the same, or are they hitting different topics?
They're hitting topics such as, building through tests, freedom, overcoming, meditation. So there's 23 co-authors, 23. So, the book should be about, most likely, it's going to be at least 100, 150. It's not too lengthy, but it should be around that range as far as, and it's just a lot of great insights, whether it be a principle, whether, I've already said that, but so those are different kinds of chapters that they're dealing with. They're dealing with freedom. They're dealing with time management. They're dealing with pushing through tests and overcoming, and those are some of that's kind of the chapter themes of it's a lot of, well, not too many men. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like 3 guys and it's like 20. Well, him, me. It's about 3 gentlemen and like 20 other ladies who collaborated on this idea. I mean, he's done other stuff. He's done other books with a gentleman, I think even in Houston, who's like a speaker and a consultant, Mr. Baker.
Man, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Chip.
Yeah.
But I've never met him, but I just heard seen him. So he's done. This is his fourth collaboration.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I may have to do my own, whatever. But that's kind of how we came about. And when I met him, I haven't met him, but he did. So it's another guy. It's another gentleman I know who's a speaker, who works in the speak, and he had a Facebook Live with him. And so then I kind of connected to him, and we connected together. And he said he was having this project, and that's when we all connected.
Okay. And man, yeah, thinking about Chip, the book that they just dropped, Success Chronicles, they've been coming through. They came through, him and a few of the co-authors, and talked on the podcast, man, and they dropped some gems, man. So big shouts out to them guys. They've been working it, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, I think Mr. Woods, I just connected to him on social media. But
yeah.
Chip, he knows, I don't know him, but he knows somebody that I know.
Yeah.
Somebody I know, they've done some stuff I've seen,
Yeah, man. Well, I'll definitely plug y'all up, man, because he's always ready to work with authors and kind of do the same thing. And then that's homegrown, man. So that'll be even better, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. And so as we look at this, man, of what we getting ready to go through, pandemic coming back, it's about to get crazy out here, man. If it was one point or one piece of the book that you could pull out too, that you would want us to hold on to, man, what would be that? What would be that piece?
I don't want it to sound cliche, but just to don't give up. We're in a red threat level now. Harris County, we've, student teachers going back, and new superintendent of the HISD, or whether it be A-Leaf, whatever. But the one thing in the book I would say is that you can, be resilient, no matter, COVID, no matter what, COVID-19, no matter this, past. I mean, people would have thought when we had this last election, depending on where you were, what perspective you were on, some people were like, if the last person would have stayed in office, the world would have ended. And some people are like, the world is ended now.
Yeah.
No matter who's in office, no matter what, no matter if you can still overcome, you can still win, you can still achieve just the resilience, the drive, the passion, and just finding your why and your, if you have a why that's big enough, then you can achieve your goals, and you can achieve, what you want to set out to. So that's one thing I would say just to take from is that in spite of this, whatever we've gone through, I mean, we've gone through this, but it's, I mean, I'm not going to get, people have gone through stuff stronger than this. I mean, if we can overcome slavery, if we can overcome being locked down for 16 months. We can overcome,
Come on, man. I'm with you, brother. But that boy said, hey, look, what I like, the brother say, if your why is big enough, you can do anything, man. I mean, just to remind people that.
Well, I mean, I deal with I'm in sales, and a lot of people, sometimes when I'm at a position that I am, they'll be like, this is a hard job, and it's hard because of the rejection. But rejection, I've heard somebody say rejection can be redirection.
Yeah.
It can be, so it's not how many no's you get, you just need the one yes.
Come on now.
And just the one yes, as many no is just, no can be next opportunity. No can just be leading to your next, the person who is going to give you the break that you need. So,
yes,
so that's what I would, say about, in that sense.
Yes, sir. I can dig it, man. So as schools begin to pivot, how are you kind of setting up for the consultant to come back and get into the schools?
Well, I mean, I'm going to, whether it be, if it be virtual, I've done a lot of virtual stuff. It's virtual, and if it's in person, whether it be, just inspiring teachers or professional development, or just, giving encouragement or giving aid to teachers and staff. I went to HISD had a male summit, a student. They had a male summit. They had a gentleman from New Jersey, and he talked. But they had some other sessions where they were talking about mentorship and leadership and other things. So mainly just being careful, but still inspiring. Students still speaking, still consulting. If it be professional development, if it be something to give strategies on how to improve schools scores, just kind of consulting. And if that's virtually or somewhat in person, I mean, I've done in person things. I'm vaccinated. I'm not going. I'm gonna stay 6 feet.
Hey.
I'm gonna be my mask on. I'm gonna have, I'm gonna have to probably bring my gloves, but I'm gonna be careful. But I don't want to say we shouldn't be fearful. I think we should be cautious, but not overwhelmed with fear. I'll say that we should be careful, but not to the point of we shouldn't be careless, but I don't think we should be overwhelmed with fear.
I'm with you on that one, brother. So, man, tell us, how do we find the contact of you? How do we find the book? When is the tour gonna start?
I wish it would. Yeah, I got to get with. I would love to have the tour started. The book will most likely be out on Amazon at the end of the month, or probably early September. But it can be pre-ordered. I don't. There's an app. There's an app. I have the link, but I don't have it memorized in my brain.
All right.
Copy and paste the link. But I mean, you can find me if people want to inbox me. They can find me on Facebook. They can find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn under hyphen. You put Kelvin Weather. You can find me on LinkedIn. Find me on Facebook. You find me on Instagram at KW Financial Service. That was like when I'm as far as life insurance, I was doing that and connected. So you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. If you Google me, you probably find me on eSpeakers. You can find me. You can. So I'm pretty easy to find, or you can call. And I'll, get you how you can pre-order the book, or when the book comes out officially, you can order it on Amazon and all those platforms.
That sounds like a plan, man. And I'll make sure to drop the link. So send me the link, and I'll drop it in the bio of the video, so that way we'll make sure people get plugged in.
I mean, it's a secure. If people want to pre-order the book, it can be shipped. We're gonna. I don't know if I'm worthy of them signing the book, but I autograph it. If the first 100 people, I autograph it. So they can find it, or they can reach out to me on social media and hit me up, or they can call me, or I give them a number and they can hit me up.
You all ready to start working on number 2?
Well, I need to. I got my notepad. I get these groups saying about. We can get your book done in 90 days or 30 days. I just need to go ahead and start. It's this one group out of, I forget the lady's name. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia. They do like a 21-day boot camp, all of that. But I'm working on some stuff that I'm doing, like some presentations. Hopefully one day, if I get a TEDx, I can, if they accept me, But I'm working on it.
Yes, sir.
I have a mind to do so.
Yes, sir. Slowly but surely, man. Because I'm telling you, it is lengthy on the application.
Congratulations.
Hey, man, I sure appreciate it, man. I want to say thank you for taking some time out to talk about the work that you're doing with educators, but moreover, about the piece of work that y'all doing to really just give us a guide for the culture, right? Like you say, from meditation to just taking care of yourself to being resilient, man. We need that work, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate all you do. I mean, with school. And oh yeah, I do have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, man, that's what they learn.
Yeah, they can if they. It's not you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to have your direct channel.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. They can click on, put my name in YouTube, and there's a YouTube channel under my name as well, so they can find me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel.
That's
so yeah,
it, brother.
On YouTube too.
All right, man. Well, look, I gotta say thank you. I look forward to sharing this with the rest of the community, man, as we get these playbacks going. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so, man, that'll do it for us, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Well, you keep up the great work and bridging the gap, and doing what you do.
Yeah, we got to, man. We got to. All right, y'all. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.
This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood.
This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.